There we go. I just don't got it. Hello. How you doing, Susanna? Right now, I just thought I'd take a walk. That's why I turned off the video game. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning here. One day I got to show you the ducks and the chicks that we got now. They all live in the back area with the rabbits. Actually, quite nice. Oh, snap. What up, PMC? I should have known you'd be awake. What is it, like 6:30 there? Perhaps even 7:30. I don't know your time zone. But if you're up this early, that means it's farm living. Yeah, I haven't even been to bed yet. I just thought I'd take a little walk while it's not too hot and I can actually live stream. Like, I can't really do it on a walk during the daytime because it's so hot my phone overheats. Oh, you're Atlantic? Very nice. Just like easy. Oh, yeah. But as you can see, the clouds are blocking the vision of the vivacious beauty that is La Luna. But nah, I was just playing some Days Gone. I was enjoying that. And I was gonna make a video. I'm gonna workshop it to you. You know, one of my random thoughts videos. I'm gonna workshop it to you real quick. It's not nothing special. It's like the last one I did was about the 28 years later. I hadn't seen the movie, but my algorithm got flooded with tons of people and their opinion on it. And it was funny because like they would get nostalgic about 28 days later, right? The original, which not knocking the movie, but I remember when that movie came out. I remember sort of seeing critical reviews of it, like not on the internet because that's not where you went to get it. From the newspapers and wow, that's a lot of lightning. From the newspapers, from the your TV spots when they say Variety says or Entertainment Weekly said, that kind of deal. So didn't really get too many people like in my circle of movie buffs. Nobody had seen it. I didn't even see that bad boy until like it came out in the dollar theater. And I was like, yeah, this movie's pretty good because only one person I knew had actually watched it. And like I didn't hear more about that until, it came out on DVD. Then everybody was fawning over it. I say all that to say that I see a lot of reviews of Netflix Avatar: The Last Airbender, the live action of it. And the only thing I can say as far as like how people are saying it's not as great as the first season was that, funny thing about that, not many people were championing Avatar: The Last Airbender, the cartoon. Not too many people were. They weren't even advertising it on Nickelodeon at the time. Like nobody I knew was watching it. And I went, this was like I was all over the place. I didn't hear nobody speaking on it. And the first season didn't get as much acclaim as everybody says that it did, at least from what I saw. All I saw when I even asked people about it is they call it a wannabe anime. You know what I'm saying? Like they would call it a wannabe anime like all the time. Um, and it stayed on Nickelodeon, and I would watch a lot of Nickelodeon, but that show would barely come on. When it did, they didn't tell you when it was coming on. I caught a couple of TV spots about it on Nickelodeon. Suffice it to say, even with season 2, which was a good season, people still weren't talking about it. They didn't start talking heavily, from what I saw, about Avatar: The Last Airbender until damn near the end of season 3. Which case, I just finally watched it. I thought it was dope. And a couple of my friends watched it. They thought it was dope. And I heard nothing from anybody. In fact, I didn't see a revival for it until COVID hit, which I thought was kind of strange. So when I see people getting nostalgic about like how they're going, it's not as great as the first one was, it's like, well, you guys weren't really watching it. Some might have been, but for the most part, the so-called critics weren't watching it. And if they did, they were just talking smack about how it's an anime wannabe. I'm just saying. Oh, I know. I'm not giving a bias or opinion of it or nothing. When I talk about the reviews, it's just the random thoughts I have on it. It just makes me laugh because I'll be sitting up here, they're like, I'm like, as many people as, because like I said, I was there. Nobody was talking sweet about Avatar until it got released on Netflix and stuff, with COVID, so people could watch them all in order. Because this was also Nickelodeon's fault. It didn't play at the proper time ever. Like you couldn't get a consistent week on it. They didn't advertise it. They didn't give it the juice that they should have. So I always thought that was strange. Then again, makes sense when they did Legend of Korra because the first season was available. You could watch it. It was available to watch on Nickelodeon and on Nick.com. But then around the third season, they stopped airing it on Nickelodeon altogether. You had to go to their website to watch the other episodes. Probably because that third season was raw. But I was gonna make a video about it. I might just clip this out if I feel like it, or I'll just repeat myself because I don't care. I just like talking. But yeah, now I'm not asking anyone's opinion on Avatar. I'm just saying like I wish people would stop with the rose-colored glasses in the past because I remember nobody was checking for that show, at least in my circle of nerds and geeks. Like all they would say is that this wannabe anime on Nickelodeon, which was strange to say. And it's just like they also forget that the creators of Avatar, you know, people like their work, but the thing is that the episodes that stood out and that were written well that people enjoy weren't made by those creators. But nobody ever really looked at the credits. No, that's not fair to say nobody, but people usually don't look at the credits on these. Mm. I don't know too many movies. Too many of them get unwarranted hate. I can think of more that get unwarranted love. Where I'm like, they gave this an Oscar? Okay. But I'm trying to think. I can only speak for in my circle because I never really watched a lot of critical videos. Like even when I was growing up with like Siskel and Ebert and Gene Shalit and Leonard Maltin. So like one movie I thought got unwarranted hate to me in my circle. I still think they're brain damage for this. They all hated Ghost Dog. I loved Ghost Dog. They had some pretty funny points about it, but I was like, nah, Ghost Dog was solid. I thought that movie was awesome sauce. Doesn't get talked about enough in my opinion. So I guess Ghost Dog is gonna be the one I go with. Yeah. Well, I'm not even talking about Richard Roper. I'm talking the OGs, Siskel and Ebert, straight out of Chicago. I used to watch that show. It used to come on, I think, Channel 3 where I was at. Siskel and Ebert at the movies. Thanks. But also, I don't trust critics, like true film critics, because Robert Ebert made a movie too, and it was terrible. I mean, it was just god awful. But yeah, Richard Roper. It's funny. I don't know much about him. I know he's a critic too. I know he used to be Ebert and Roper, but I barely watched Siskel and Ebert. It's just that they're the ones that you will remember the most because it was their, that was their show. Yeah, I appreciate bad movies. I'll tell you all the time I watch terrible movies, but yeah, with my homies, Ghost Dog got so much hate, and I thought Ghost Dog, The Way of the Samurai, was excellent. Only thing I had against it was they hyped up the RZA to be in that movie, and that dude was in there for like what, a whole 2 seconds. I was waiting on a part two with the little girl. Hold on a sec. I thought World War Z was okay. It wasn't nothing I went absolutely nuts for. I'll be honest, I can barely remember the movie. It didn't really grab me. You know what I'm saying? And not to say it was a bad movie, it just didn't grab me. But people dug it. I don't know. I'm kind of with George Romero when it comes to the whole zombie thing. Like the writer 28 Days Later, the guy that basically the movie that innovates the fast zombie, or basically created it. He said he got it from playing Resident Evil, and he's like, slow zombies aren't scary. And it's like them being slow or fast is not the problem. They're relentless. That's what people keep forgetting. You'll get tired. They won't. Like, I guess fast is shock, but like George Romero had a good point because of the rigor mortis. But in the same token, I haven't met a zombie. I haven't seen a zombie in real life. So I can't tell you how zombies operate. I mean, what was the name of that movie? The voodoo movie with zombies? Because, Serpent in the Rainbow or something like that. You know what I mean? So, I think Bill Pullman was a zombie in that, and he didn't know he was a zombie. So, you know what I mean? Yeah, Dawn of the Dead was cool. Remake was solid. Like I said, I don't knock it. Like, some people prefer them fast, some people prefer them slow. I mean, there's a case to be made for both. But with 28 Days Later, they weren't zombies because they weren't dead. You know what? I'll be real. Resident Evil films are a guilty pleasure. First one was cool. I really liked the second one. Third one was all right. Nobody, even the more bizarre it got, I was cool with it. So I can't even say nothing bad about them. They are what they are. I'll tell you what was good though, the Resident Evil animated movies. Those were good. And I don't know if you saw them, but Dead Rising has some pretty good movies too. Like, from the video game, like Dead Rising had some pretty good movies. They were made by Sony Crackle. I don't know if Crackle's still around. I think I have the app still, but I don't know if they do anything. But Crackle used to have like original little movies and stuff. It was pretty good. Yeah. So like, I've never been the guy to knock the Resident Evil movies. Jet Grind, Jet Set Radio or Jet Grind Radio? I don't know Jet Grind Radio. Is that part of the Jet Set Radio future movies? I mean games. Let me see. Sometimes I suck with titles. Sometimes I really haven't seen it. Oh, it is a video game. Yep. Reminds me of Jet Set Radio Future. Wasn't Jet Set Radio Future part of that? I don't know. There was one game this dude was telling me about because I was a huge Def Jam Fight for New York fan. And some game, I guess, like Wild Style, where you be tagging and stuff. Like it's the hip hop culture in the game. But I missed out. I didn't own a Dreamcast. I only got to play it whenever I was at friends' houses. And so the most I played were like Evil Dead, Hell to the King, Sonic, Tony Hawk, um, and Capcom SNK. Well, not Capcom SNK, Marvel Street Fighter. Marvel Capcom 2, I'm sorry. Marvel Capcom 2. Yeah, Def Jam with Dead was cool. It set the tone. But I liked Fight for New York because I love the story one in that. Only one I didn't like was Icon. I don't know what they were going for in that. It was like they knew they were going somewhere with it. and then they just went F it. But other than that, let's see. Besides rewatching Castlevania again because I need Simon Belmont to be featured in there because Simon Belmont wasn't in any of the Castlevania animations. And the only time Simon Belmont ever showed up that I remember was on Captain N the Game Master. Random thoughts about Mortal Kombat. I like that movie, and I can't stand that movie. That's like, it's kind of like how I loved it. I saw it. It's like how I said I can't really hate on the original Street Fighter movie because, yeah, I was 10 when that came out, and we all watched it, and we all liked it because we were kids. Yeah, I just didn't like how the fatalities weren't fatal. They did it, but it was like, uh, I guess, you know. Yeah. Well, it was certainly better than Annihilation, which once again watched it, liked the fights in Mortal Kombat Annihilation, but hated it overall. But once again, what was I like 12 when that? Yeah, I want to say I was like 12 maybe when it came out. No, I wasn't. I was like 13 or 14. Annihilation came pretty fast. I was mad at that because they killed off Johnny Cage in the beginning. Spoiler. And Cabal and Stryker were merely mentioned. I didn't mind Stryker being dead, but taking out Cabal, come on. Yep. Did you ever see Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm? The cartoon. They had a cartoon on the USA Network. It was okay. They really, really, really avoided the violence as best as they could. Right? And what was that other one? It was Mortal Kombat. It was a TV show that used to be on TNT. What the hell was that called? Let's see. Conquest. Yeah, Mortal Kombat Conquest. That was pretty interesting. It was funny because it was all about Kung Lao and it had Quan Chi in there. It was different, but you know what? It wasn't bad. Let's see. What other game? What other stuff that I was looking at? Oh yeah. No, the reason why, like I said, I was about Simon Belmont was because the only time he was on was in Captain in the Game Master. And have you ever seen that show? It was like they couldn't get sued because all the creators were like, "What is this?" Like none of the characters looked like their video game counterparts. Pit, they just called him Kid Icarus. Mega Man was weird looking. It was just a weird show. Yeah, because Tekken 1 and 2 were not good movies. The anime wasn't good either. Like it's like they wanted to do too much. Did you ever see the King of Fighters movie? They really, really, really said screw it. Huh. Best thing about Castlevania? Um, the best thing about Castlevania to me is Well, what are you talking about? Best thing about the story, best thing about the characters. I love the consistency. The worst thing about them is that they're everywhere, and if you don't have every type of system to play them on, you're boned. You got to get an emulator. There were some that were released that I didn't even know existed. like, I remember playing it on TurboGrafx 16. But yeah, I like the originality of it. Also hated that I couldn't cheap out. It was just good stuff. Now, what is Scrappy barking about? Must be the cats. Castlevania 3D. 64 was underrated too. People don't give 64 enough of its flowers. Hold on. Yeah, I'll keep it tall with this. I actually like the Wii, but the 64 was a better system. The thing I had against the well, the thing I had against most Nintendo is the controllers. Like the Wii at least was simpler and frustrating. But what I did like about the Wii was that made you be active. Let me go see what this is. Oh yeah, Majora's Mask. That's the one I didn't like. I love Ocarina of Time though. Yeah. Well, he's Link. I mean, Link is Yoji. The only thing that kind of annoys me is that Link is supposed to be left-handed, and he's not. Like they can't decide on that, but apparently Link was always supposed to be a left-handed swordsman, which for all the Southpaws out there means a lot. Sat through Dragon Ball Evolution. They had a couple of Dragon Ball live actions that they did back in the day. Jamie Chung, and people love her. Ah, yes, Ong Bak. That's good. That's classic. Good, good Tony. Yeah. Hold on a sec. I mean, you can't really go wrong, right? I wish he would have done more movies, but I think he's just chilling. Last time I checked, just like how Jet Li's just chilling out, you know. And there's no shame in that. Yeah, that's because Protector's awesome. I, you know what I like? I like like Chocolate and Raging Phoenix. Those are two good Thai movies. There was a point. There was a point in time where a bunch of good um, Thai fighting movies were coming out, and I think it was Dragon Dynasty Distribution that was putting them out. Mm. Don't mind me, I love Bloodsport. I don't give a damn about how debunked that movie is, or like whether it was true or not. I don't care. I just enjoy that movie. That's a classic. Yeah, but once again, it's one of those movies that I remember watching as a little tyke. Because my mom used to love all those movies, like any movie with fighting in it. In other words, did it entertain me? Yes. Hmm. That was back during the time when Van Damme was cranking out the hits. I love that movie. I like the Kickboxer, Cyborg, heck, even Double Impact. Because eventually everybody has a movie where there's twins. Yep, Universal Soldier, especially when they did the one with Michael J. White. I've always like I said, there was a period where he was cranking out hits. But yeah, people. I don't care if they. I guess he had a strong run. My problem with him is that he never got beat up in his movies. That always made me mad. I'm like, he never took any hits. Yeah, that's what I was just saying. Seagal never took hits, and they always make him out to be like his characters are the same. This perfect dude, the best in every aspect, lauded by everyone, wanted by all the women, and it's just like, all right, I get it. But that's what made Jackie Chan so cool. The best fighters are the ones that don't want to. Yeah, the '90s was his best run. Like my favorite, like most people would go with Rumble in the Bronx, like in America, or like the legend, like the original Drunken Master. One of my favorites was him, and it was well, not my favorite, but I got to give an honorable mention. Is Who Am I? I thought Who Am I was really good. Who Am I was really good. So was sorry, I'm still eating. What's that other one? Drawing a blank. Um, Who Am I and First Strike, those are good. But I really liked Who Am I because it was just interesting. Oh, Super Cop. That's the one I was trying to remember. Super Cop was great, but that's because I was a big Michelle Yeoh fan. Oh, was it Michelle Chang? Nah, either which way, they were both awesome. Which brings me up to Michelle Yeoh. I mean, the Heroic Trio was a good movie. Yeah, of course. And the fact that Lei Wulong hasn't been in Tekken lately is a travesty. You know, it's like, how do you not have Lei in there? It just feels wrong to me. But you know, that's why I like the next mutation, not the next mutation, but Mutant Mayhem, the Ninja Turtles movie, because I like that Splinter was Jackie Chan, and then when Splinter had to fight, it was how Jackie Chan would fight. I wish Billy Blanks would have did more. I was rooting for him. Hmm. I know Billy Blanks moved to Japan. Yeah, Billy Blanks. He's a legit though. He's a legit. People forget he actually is a practitioner. Yeah, like competitively. So they can make all the jokes that they want, but he's legit. So, you know, of course he is. Whatever. Lupe Fiasco can do whatever he wants. Nah, I might check it out. Like I said, I have such a as much as I appreciate his raps, I can't. I'm not a huge fan of him. Hell, I wasn't even a fan of Kick Push. I'm like, you don't skateboard. But yeah, that's how I feel about Lupe Fiasco. Like, I don't really hate the guy. I don't love him. He's just there. Like, I never thought of him as a top tier MC. Is he? A top tier MC, yes, but just because somebody's good doesn't mean that I like them or that I feel that they're good. It's like in Bleach when she's like, I don't believe in ghosts, and he's like, you see them every day. Yeah, just because I see them don't mean I believe in them. Yeah, and I'm like, you have all the tools, you are good at it, but he's one of those high-minded people, which I get it, but there's a difference between being high-minded and coming off as I'm better than you, and that air has always bugged me about it. Yeah, well, RZA is the RZA, and I don't know if he's considered an underrated MC, but the Jizza is amazing as a rapper. But it trips me out because the Jizza is just the Jizza, but he's elite level MC. I wonder why they don't put him in many conversations. Oh, RZA, yeah, he's legit. He was in the second Protector, right? Yeah, the Protector too. He was in that, along with the lady. I apologize. Along with the lady from Chocolate and Raging Phoenix. Yeah, yeah, of course not. But you know what? I think about it like this when I think of those kind of movies and fights. Besides suspension of disbelief, I think about it like how Batman said it. He said, anyone could take me out. It could be the Joker, the Riddler, or just some street punk who gets lucky. But that's what I like about Batman. Batman, as much of a jerk as he is, he's very aware. I think that Jason Statham currently just does the movies that he knows will get him paid. That's not a diss. I mean, he knows what works for him. I've always liked him. But yeah, like nowadays, like he's cranking out a movie every couple of years, and it's pretty much the same plot. Which, hey, kudos. Yeah, I mean, I liked his early work. I like a lot of his work, but it's like it got to the point. I'm like, this is the same movie every time, bro. Yeah, that movie was crazy. Yeah, it's funny. I always ask, I'm like, what happened to? Well, she never had to act. That was the funny part. Devin Aoki or Devin Aoki. I don't know how to say her last name, but she was in War. She played the main lady. but she was also the original Miho in the first Sin City movie. And I remember her in a movie called Debs, which I thought Debs was pretty good. Yep, Craig GTA. He does that. Yeah, I think she had a child, and that was it. You know what I mean? Like I think she had a child. And just she never had to act. I think she was born rich, if I remember correctly. Yeah, she retired. Yeah, she retired. She never had to act. She was a fashion model anyway. So I think she always had the cheese. No, I didn't see Ballerina yet. You know what? It didn't really pop up on my radar until like last month. I've been meaning to, but I don't know if I want to watch it. Have you? Did you like it? So it could go either way. Oh, I didn't know the camera was on my face. You just can't see because it is so dark in here, and I don't carry one of those lights for the back. I'm not into that stuff. Oh, you have seen it? Okay, cool. You know what? Now, you bring up a good question. I haven't seen a good like female fighter in a film since like I'm gonna go way back with this one. Cynthia Rothrock. I used to love Cynthia Rothrock movies. Cynthia Rothrock's not underrated. Well, she might be now, but like you remember the early '90s, she was everywhere. It's just like who else was an American martial artist that he was kind of everywhere, but then he wasn't. Jeff Speakman. No, I never saw Atomic Blonde. I haven't even seen that TV series she's on Netflix based off a graphic novel. Truth be told, I've never been big on Charlize Theron. Like nothing against her work. It just I never went out of my way to see anything she was in. That's not to say she's not a good actress. It just Atomic Blonde was kind of like there for me, but I need to check it out. You know, that's probably one of those things I need to do anyway. Like whenever because I don't get to give out reviews anymore. Like well, not give out reviews. Like I don't do reviews on here, but random thoughts on it, as I like to call them. I would like to make random reactions, but I don't know how to edit. Mm. So it's like wet. That game wet that came out the 2000s. Mm. Man, I gotta get this guy his credit. This dude sits here. and manages to convince these people to give him $1,500 a week to try fast food. And he always calls it enjoy to build the audience. All this dude does is beg for money. But I'm like, $1,500 a week? Mm, no. One of the deleted scenes on that movie made me so mad. Michael Jai White was supposed to be in it. But I kind of get why they cut that because even Tarantino was like, no one's gonna believe this. Have you seen that deleted scene with Michael Jai White? And I'm like, I could barely believe it. Actually, I didn't believe it at all. I was like, yeah, whatever. It's the same reason why he didn't put Michelle Yeoh in it, even though she wanted to work. Well, she was so mad about Kill Bill, but he said, no one's gonna believe that Uma Thurman kicked your ass. But Tarantino is the same guy that talks mess on Bruce Lee. But I know why he does that. He does that because he's part of the system that Bruce Lee hated. No, it was a great deleted scene, but it just wasn't believable. Which, at the same time, screw belief. It's a movie. It's not real, and I need to get over that. Oh yeah, he puts the food up to the camera and then he disgustingly eats it, and he says the same things. The only reason I'm not saying the guy's name is because I've said it once on here, and I try not to trash anybody's channels. I don't know Michael Jai White's critique of him, but Bruce Lee wasn't a belted fighter. He was OG MMA, and he was swordsman philosophy. You know, keep the effective moves, get rid of the ones that are useless. But please, anytime you critique anything nowadays, you're a hater. If you don't like something, you automatically hate it. You can't just not like it. If you don't like it, you automatically hate it, which I'm like, or it just doesn't matter that much for me, or I don't like it. I don't have to hate it. Yeah, I know Jeet Kune Do. I know what you're talking about. That's what I mean. But Michael Jai White is legit. So you can't take that away from him. He's actually, I know. I know. I know you're trolling. But yeah, Michael Jai White is a legit. He's got actual wins under his belt. I think Snipes does too. Like people always forget Wesley Snipes can throw down. I don't know why they keep forgetting that. Hmm. Well, look at the way we go in. Most people's attention spans, mine included, are not that long anymore. So they try to break it down to the most basic of things. Why you hating? And it's like, why are you making whole videos about what somebody does and then telling me that what you're doing is the truth, even though cameras are known to lie, especially in the digital age where people edit everything anyway. I mean, we live in a time where people believe what a person that makes a YouTube video does, and then they assume that that person on the camera, even the streamer, that's really them 24/7, and you know that it's not. Oh, yes, I've gotten hate for my random thoughts videos. I delete it. I don't mention it. I'm just like, okay. It's mostly because people can't wait to make a comment on a video that I make. even though in my videos, well, I don't mean to say people can't wait. I'm talking about the people that have watched them that have the time to do that clearly didn't listen. They just read the title. And because they clearly didn't listen because they missed the part at the beginning where I say, this is not educational, this is not entertaining, this is not informational. And they missed the part at the end of every video where I usually say after a random thought, what do I know? Or I don't know what I'm talking about. Hey, what up, crazy and insane TV? Salute. Yeah, it is. I don't usually dig, but the only reason why I delete the comments sometimes, or like the reason why I delete that kind of stuff is because I'm clearly not in it for views. I'm not in it for engagement. But yeah, I've had it happen. Like I had one where I said the Constitution can't be changed. Then what is an amendment? Which was a joke from a comedian. But the funniest part is that it's true. People always say the Constitution can't be changed. I'm like, an amendment is literally a change. That's what an amendment means. To amend is to change something. And so many people would sit there and try to explain to me how amendments, they're explaining to me what an amendment was, not getting that I sarcastically said the Constitution can't be changed. And then I said, then what is an amendment? Yeah, I don't spar with people. I usually let them say something. The most I said on that one, I said, yeah, that's exactly like somebody was explaining what amendment stuff. And I said, that's exactly what I'm saying. Get over yourself. And then his next comment was, dude, I was going to paragraph you. And then I thought to myself, since when is paragraphing somebody a threat? It's actually insulting because you're under the assumption that I'm going to read what you wrote. I also was talking about how, like, yeah, everybody's got a right to free speech, but that don't mean I got to listen to you. And I had to listen. Somebody was saying that, yeah, freedom of speech also covers the written word, and it's people like you that are destroying it by telling everybody to just shut up. I'm like, I didn't tell anybody to shut up. First off, and secondly, and this was my favorite part, all I said was, yeah, you have the right to say whatever you want. That don't mean that they got to listen to you. That don't mean that they will listen to you. And also, the freedom of speech that she was talking about, as far as written word and stuff goes, they don't get that that is pertaining to the government. Free to speak to the government or about the government. I was just talking about your daily life, about people who make long, hateful videos about God knows what. I'm like, well, rather than criticize it, you don't have to listen to what they're saying. That's all I was saying. They can unleash the power of the internet all they want on me. Just like I can't stand when people say the internet is undefeated. I'm like, so what are you proving? They're like, people assume crap you said 20 years ago is crap that you still feel. And I'm like, that's crap. If you still had the same mentality you did 20 years ago, then you didn't evolve. And I know for a fact that people can find tons of stupid shit I've said on here because I was in a metal band or some interview I did. But also that was decades ago. And how I was back then is not how I am now. You know, yesterday's reality is not today's reality. The other thing I said, one of my favorite quotes, it wasn't even a quote battle video. This way before I even met Easy. I put on here was about accountability. And I said, accountability to who? To where? What makes you think that the person isn't being held accountable? What makes you think they're not being held accountable? What makes you think they haven't made amends? Just because you didn't see it on a video or somebody didn't tweet about it doesn't mean that they didn't go and make it right with the other person that they offended or you know what I mean? So that's why I can't stand when people say take some accountability. I'm like, how do you know that they haven't? But that's based on this weird thing where people assume that just because of how you talk on your camera is how you are in your life. And I'm like, eh, I really can't understand when people say that someone's fake, and I'm like, that's not even their real name that you're talking about. Like I was saying, Anubis D Wicked is so fake. Well, yeah, because Anubis D Wicked's my actual name, and I'm not playing the character. And I said, but that was my stage name for years. Yeah, basically. Like, no. Um, it's just like one trend that I see, especially in the K-pop world. I don't know if it's so much now, but like if somebody passes away, like in a group or whatever, then you got the people on the internet that got the nerve to go to these people's Instagrams or their Twitter and be like, "How dare you not write something about them?" I'm like, well, they knew them personally, and they probably were over there. They're probably planning for the funeral, and they're probably bawling their eyes out. You think they got time to write a damn post just to satisfy you? Who are you? Yeah. There's also the delusion of when people say, "Oh, that stuff back then don't fly today." What made you think it flew back then? Where do people get this stuff from? It's as ridiculous as canceling dead people. So I'm like, cancel them from what? What deal? What? It's just like people that come on here strictly to cancel someone. Like they make a video. All right, I'm gonna cancel Eminem. I'm like, all right, go for it. Whatever. Oh yeah, no, that's one thing that I do say about this dude that I see everybody can't stand. Like he had a good point. He said, "How the hell do I know what my fans are doing in their personal lives? I don't talk to them." It's like, well, if people tell you inside of here, then you should address it. It's like, why should I address it? I really don't know what these people are doing in their personal life, and it's frankly none of my business. But also, I have a certain level of detachment from most things. Heck, I was hanging out with a person that didn't know he was offing people. And it's like I wouldn't have known. Although I caught the vibe, I'm like, something's off with him, but it's like one of those things that you don't really think about. And whatever. But it's not even a gripe session. See, PMC, you ain't the only one that gets philosophical up in this piece. Usually, I keep it all random because I don't want no one. The only reason I say it's random is not that I don't quote unquote stand on business. Is that it's only coming up because until somebody brings it up, it's not even a thought in my head piece. You know what I'm saying? I got to begin the morning harvest. I'm gonna be honest with you. I thought you already began the morning harvest. I don't know when you're supposed to harvest. Is it supposed to be before sunrise, in sunrise, but earliest? Because I always thought it'd be kind of better to harvest right at what dawn. But also, I don't know. I don't farm. My sister does, and most of the time it's just feeding the pets. But she's got a bunch of great fruit and vegetables growing. Uh, the crop while chatting, double tasking, making sure that the grass is satisfactory inside of the nature factory, agriculturally, just planning out to make sure that the beat is honestly getting there to be something perfect. The philosophy sitting back in there with samurai ideology, the kind of thing that goes upon the thing without waving, making it sure that people's going up without nothing to crave, nothing to pray. But then again, just sitting back having the hay, sitting back making sure that all of the crops are going up, coming out straight. Some of it to sell, some of it for the nervous, some of it to make sure that we can go ahead and keep on this thing so that we can flourish. Mm. But then again, it's just another thought, something that is just random about. But that is the way that I bring one. But never could quite understand where I'm standing up, man. But that is the plan that I'm saying this stuff, and I'm gonna keep on it. I keep it on friend. But Mr. BMC, Mr. Shinobi, Samurai guy, I know you gotta go. So honestly, have a blessed one and preference, and everything is great. I hope you have a peaceful day. Is that okay? Sober barring, quite jarring, but I'm learning and preparing and making sure that everything I'm saying is not crazy and sparing, not inspiring, but it's quite tiring. Make sure that I got the match, the spit, the firing. Hey, you have a lovely one, all right? Much love. Peace out. Hmm. Wow, I was on here for an hour. I do enjoy those. I'm trying to keep an hour on that. It's easier when it's somebody to chop it up with. But yeah, you have a lovely one, all right? And everybody else that came to kick it, just remember, I am not a content creator. I'm just some dude who talks way too much. But much love. Peace out.